Bitcoin doesn't know what it is yet. Is it a digital gold? Is it a risk asset? I do think by year end, it's very possible we could see 12 to 13 or at least double bottom at 15.7. We know we're still in a bear market in crypto. And again, just to jump in, I prefer to leave Bitcoin as the digital gold. Like I would say that if we want it to survive and thrive, it needs to keep that. There's plenty of other coins that have utility and we can see that. But for me, it's like keep it as it is. It's pure right now. Once you start getting and meddling in it, I think that's a negative.
The crypto market is down today as investor fear over a regulatory crackdown on the sector remains, and the fight over raising the debt ceiling carries on. While some analysts believe Bitcoin could see inflow in the event that the United States defaults on its debt, there is a significant risk that the U.S. Treasury run out of funds, straining liquidity. Hello and welcome to Crypto Street. In this video, we have the privilege of exploring Gareth Soloway's fascinating perspectives on the future of Bitcoin. So let's get started.
So I think a default would be a positive, at least a near-term positive for Bitcoin, right? It would be just like when the banks began to fail and we saw Bitcoin really rocket to the upside. My issue with Bitcoin is that even when we had issues with some of the regionals where they were dropping 50% like 2 weeks ago, Bitcoin actually came down. And to me, that tells me Bitcoin doesn't know what it is yet. Is it a digital gold? Is it a risk asset? And so I'm in the camp that I think Bitcoin topped out at 30,500 recently, and I actually think we are going to head lower. I'm still in the camp that we're probably not making. We haven't made the bottom in Bitcoin yet. De-risking in the system. Bitcoin is going through this crazy period where people are just gambling on these coins. And I've said this before, but I've never seen
other coins.
Yeah, on the other coins. But it's all the psychology of it, right? It's when people feel like they can gamble and they can just sell it to someone else higher, and they know deep down there's no utility. That is not a sign of a bottom in a market like a Bitcoin bull market. It's a sign of a top. And so now if you expand that out and say, okay, Bitcoin is still a risk asset. Well, what if the stock market does start to tumble? Where does Bitcoin go? And that's my thesis, is that we will hit a recession. The market doesn't think that the Fed won't come to the rescue. The market and investors are conditioned for now 10, 15 years. Every time there's a hiccup, the Fed prints money. I don't think they do it this time. And that is going to be a shock. It's going to revalue the stock market 20, 30% lower from here, and that will take Bitcoin back down.
Right as analysts thought that Bitcoin was on the cusp of showing signs of a price breakout, the crypto market took a turn to the downside amid increased regulatory uncertainty. Now it seems BTC is stuck far below the $28,000 resistance level. Bitcoin price hit a 30-day low on May 24th at $26,113, as traders worry that a larger price dip is possible, noting that the 5% 24-hour drop is a key moment of truth for the crypto market.
But this is the amazing thing. This is where I get all giddy and excited because, yeah. So if you look historically, and this is what I do, right? It's looking historically at charts. When we topped out in 2021, Bitcoin topped out in November, right? 6 weeks later, the S&P and the NASDAQ topped out. If you go back to 2017, we topped out in December in Bitcoin, and about 4 to 6 weeks later, we topped out on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And so what you're looking at here is, in my opinion, the NASDAQ and the S&P are rallying, but you're seeing that greed come in where I think in just the last week, NVIDIA is up like 10, 15%, right? It's getting close to all-time highs. That to me is the final push up. And ultimately, we're now at 4 weeks since Bitcoin topped. And so the idea is within 4 to 6 weeks, the S&P and NASDAQ should top, and now you're going to look for a flush. So on our way down, there's a huge level around 23 to 24,000. If that breaks, you're headed to the 15,700 level, which is your double bottom. And then if that breaks, your next stopping point would be 12 to 13. So I'm very much a trader in that I look at the levels on the charts. And if one level breaks, if support breaks, the likely target is your next support line.
To date, crypto prices are still highly correlated with the Dow and S&P 500. Most major banks still expect the U.S. to experience a sharp recession at some point in 2023. According to U.S. Bank analysis, which incorporates more than 1,000 data points, investor sentiment about the current state of the economy remains low. Despite the capital acquisition and debt management challenges high interest rates are causing banks, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell seems committed to reducing inflation through further hikes. After Powell's Federal Open Markets Committee (FOMC) speech on May 4th, the market seemed to confidently believe that the Fed would pause rate hikes. CME's FedWatch tool has an increased possibility that a rate hike still may happen. The 34% that believe a new interesting rate hike is incoming is up from 28% on May 17th. Some Bitcoin analysts believe 2 more rate hikes will happen, creating immense volatility.
But I think that absolutely some of these other coins, Polygon, for instance, Polkadot, Solana, I think the technology is very interesting and what's being built on them. But right now, personally, I dabble in Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's all I'm willing to, because again, it's about quantifying risk. As an investor, as a trader, I have to be able to quantify risk. And I don't, with the government being shady on this, I just can't do that. I think Ethereum is interesting. It's a little bit concerning to see the gas fees and spiking as much as they have, because it makes it very expensive to use, I should say. But I think ultimately it's here to stay, and I'm okay in investing in something like that.
Similar worries exist for Ether, which traded above the $2,100 level after the Shapella upgrade, only to be followed by a 7-day low of $1,783 on May 24th. The downturn comes as Ether remains pinned below $1,900 resistance, with data showing an upward trend is unlikely in the short term.
I do want a spot ETF. I think that it opens the door to so many investors that are scared to have crypto accounts because they might get hacked or they might lose their Bitcoin. And I think that this would be a huge way for more individuals and even older people that maybe are too kind of iffy on it to put a little bit in their 401k and just tuck it away versus the way it is right now. So I think anything that draws in more people, yes, you'll draw in, once you get an ETF, the spot ETF, it probably needs to have regulation too. So that means that you're going to have institutional money too. So there is problems with manipulation, but I think anytime you bring more people into a space, it probably hopefully helps.
Where will the world of cryptocurrencies direct us? We're eager to hear your thoughts on this thrilling topic. Don't miss out on all the action. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more captivating content.